Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a video talking about the first episode of Syfy's The Expanse. And I know I'm pretty late with this one. The first episode was made available on streaming services, like on demand, on Syfy.com and stuff, like around November 23rd, I believe, or at least towards the end of November. And the actual episode did premiere 2 episodes in one night on December 14th, I want to say. Yep. So I'm a little bit late to the party here, but I did check out the first episode back when it was made available online and stuff like that on YouTube as well and things like that. But when I watched the first episode originally, it was pretty damn late at night. So I was really tired, so it probably wasn't the best time to take in a new series, especially one as detailed and just having a lot of things going on at once. So it probably wasn't the best time for me to do that. So when I first watched it, I didn't watch the whole thing. I probably watched about 35-40 minutes of it or so. And for me, my interest in sci-fi shows and movies are kind of selective. There's things like Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I'm not a mega fan of that or anything. I think it's fine. I never really seen Battlestar Galactica or anything like that. Asking about any other shows that this one's being compared to, but there are some sci-fi things I can get into. And what really drew me to this show, I have to say right off the bat, is the fact that Thomas Jane is playing the male lead on the show, or at least one of them. He's playing Detective Miller. And, you guys know how much I loved his interpretation and his performance as, Frank Castle, the Punisher. Ever since then, I've just been completely sold on him as an actor. I even liked him in things like Deep Blue Sea and stuff like that. So for the sake of him, I gave the show a chance. And, I watched the first episode again today, when I'm actually awake. So I could really, try to take it all in and understand things a little bit better. And overall, I actually really did like the first episode. This is a pretty hardcore sci-fi show, so, there's going to be people that aren't really into it right away. And that's fine. It's a genre show. It's a space action drama type of thing. But what I was waiting for was for the characters to really make me care. I know it's only the first episode, but you still want something to kind of pull you to one of them in the beginning. And at the end of the episode, we definitely got that. I think I got that for myself personally. And I can't go into what.
Jake, can you come put the leaf at the table for dinner?
Not right now.
Not right now. Well, in a few minutes.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna have to make this video kind of short, because people can't move tables on their own here. But anyway, kind of lost my train of thought here, but when I got that moment for me personally at the end of the episode, a character moment that really not made me love anyone yet, but definitely made me interested and made me sort of relate to especially Detective Miller, and as well as how the episode ended up for the people on the Canterbury. That was pretty shocking too. Of course, the basis of the show already, the plot that they have on Wikipedia here, so if you try to explain it and butchering, stuff all over the place. 200 years in the future, in a fully colonized solar system, police detective Josephus Miller, born in the asteroid belt, is given the assignment to find a missing young woman, Julie Mao. Meanwhile, James Holden, the first officer of an ice fighter, is involved in a tragic incident that threatens to destabilize Earth, Mars, and the Belt. Far away from their struggles in space, I can't pronounce that name, United States executive wants to prevent war between Earth and Mars by any means necessary. Soon the three find out that the missing woman and the ice fighter's fate are part of a vast conspiracy that threatens all humanity. And so what's basically been set up is that humans have now colonized, Mars. There's people like on the belt. I forget what the name of the place is already. Give me a second, guys. Oh yeah, Ceres. That's the area that Tom Jane's character is on, and that's the who also Holden's character is connected to. Wait, now I'm forgetting character names again. Please just cut me some slack, guys. I did get a pretty big interruption just a second ago. But yeah, Holden, Steven Strait's character. They're sort of like the cargo transporting back and forth and stuff like that. And, they have this distress signal and they go to investigate. At first they're not. But his girlfriend, or love interest, who's actually played by Kristen Hager, who I know as Nora on Being Human. It was really awesome to see her in this show. She sort of motivates him to end up, sort of doing the right thing and, logging it so it's basically there's proof that they've seen it, so they get in some serious trouble if they didn't go investigate it. And they find really nothing on board minus a helmet and stuff like that. And, I think it's the area that we've seen Julie, at the beginning of the episode, we've seen her discover some kind of entity. I don't know what it is exactly. I haven't read the books or anything like that, so I'm going into this blind. She's not there as far as we know. Obviously not because of what happened to it at the end of the episode. I don't think she is. But it basically ends up being sort of supposedly like a trap by the people from Mars, and they end up bombing the Canterbury. And it kills Holden's boss, and it also kills Kristen Hager's character, who is the navigator for it. And right before it explodes, she tells Holden there's something he should know, and then boom. A lot of people are saying she was pregnant or something like that, which would be kind of generic. That could be the case though, or maybe there's a bigger secret or something she is aware of that she was about to say. I don't know. So that part I definitely didn't expect. And I was watching a behind the scenes thing about this episode afterwards, and a lot of their idea for that happening was to give them a place I thought it was going to be in the majority of the series, or at least there for the season. And then no, it's just boom. These people that we met that we thought were going to be around for a while and to get to know the relationships more and are just gone. So that was a good way to sort of thrust us into what this world really is, or what it really could end up being. So I thought that was a pretty good decision, really. Of course I didn't like seeing Kristen Hager die, but it was actually kind of emotional and pretty well done on both her and Steven Strait's part, so I did kind of like that. And I just want to talk about Detective Miller before I have to go real quick. Tom Jane. We see him. He's a detective on series. He sort of has a Han Solo type of vibe to him. He's not like a perfect guy. He takes bribes, at least in the beginning of the episode, and he's not a perfect guy. But at the same time, you can tell he has a spirit in him. He has like a part of him that was good at one point, but he's just sort of been brought down by what he's went through or what's happened in his life. So I find that part to be pretty interesting. And a big part for him in this episode was of course, besides being assigned to find Julie, which I'm sure will happen within the next few episodes, is that, he was investigating this guy who was not, giving heir to certain parts of this property that he owned. And at first he's making a deal with him at the beginning of the episode, but then he sees this man and a little girl, some other kids playing and stuff like that, and this touches a certain part of humanity that is still existent in him. And I thought it was really well shot when that bird flew up that was around the kids and stuff. I thought that was actually really well shot. And that has him, he goes back and just puts this guy in this like compressed air area and just basically forces him to, send more air, or to, basically give people more air, so it could reach, more than just the people it was already doing it for. And so I thought that was a good development for the character already in the first episode. I'm sorry if I don't really explain it too well. I'm not great with words. But I thought, it really made us care about the Miller character by the end of the episode. And without that, we probably would have found him sort of likable, sort of found him to be a bit of an asshole at the same time, which he still kind of is. But it's obvious now that there is some good in him that's, just really starting to come out if it's given the right opportunity. And he also is interested in this girl, I forget her name, but they seem to have like an on and off relationship or like a history between each other. So I'm interested to see more about that. You didn't see too much about the character on Earth who's trying to prevent war, but we see that how she captured someone and how the gravity's changed, so this dude's the limbs are like all stretched out. I thought that was really interesting. So a lot of people, if they're plucked down from like Ceres or Mars and like brought down to Earth, that's kind of what would happen to him, and that was a way she's using to torture him, which is pretty agonizing from the looks of it. So I also want to say this show is really well shot too. It is on Syfy Network, so it doesn't have like the greatest CGI or anything. But I will say the CGI that they do have, for space and the ships and stuff, is a bit better than a lot of things on Syfy I've seen, like the original movies and some of the older shows and stuff. So not the greatest CGI, but definitely good for Syfy standards. And like I said, I know I still have to catch up on about 3 episodes right now. But with what happened in the first one, I just kind of wanted to get my initial thoughts out there when I really give it a shot. So I do like it. I will probably be watching more episodes. And if I do catch up, I will try to review it weekly if I really get into it. No promises, though. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video, even if it is kind of late. Let me know what you thought about the first episode, and also without spoilers, what you think about the series so far. And so follow me on Facebook, Twitter, MoviePilot, and lookforansfield.com. Catch you guys next time. And peace. Shit. Alright.